Fellas, welcome to another loot guide. Today we're going to be covering Streets of Tarkov. The only other loot guide I've done so far is customs, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out whenever you have the time. Today I'm going to be covering the following: the loot run itself and some key spots you might want to hit on the loot run, the 3 raid average as far as time and rubles earned is concerned, and a danger rating of the run, as well as an overall rating out of 5 stars. A few things I wanted to mention before we get started. Again, I'm doing this off the dome, and Streets of Tarkov is one of the largest maps filled with so much loot, so there's gonna be a lot of avenues you can take with this run, so I'm gonna miss a few things. And one more thing before we start: a list of keys you might want for the loot run. You don't need any of these keys, however, if you use them, I promise you will yield more profit. Our first and probably the most important key for earning profits is the Relax key. Next, you might want the MVD Academy Hall key, the Small Finance Office and Regular Finance Office keys, Concordia Security Office key, the 2 marked keys Check 13 and the Abandoned Factory Mark key, the Real Estate Agency Office key, the Terror Group Meeting Hall and the Terror Group Armory key, Check 15, as well as Iron Gate. Again, you don't need any of these keys, but these are the keys that I use to earn the most profit on Streets. Anyways, enough yapping, let's get into it, shall we? Alrighty, so we got our Streets map here, and just as with the last video, I'm going to be separating the run into 2 different distinct colors. First off will be the red run, which is spawning in the general bottom of the map anywhere from Crash Site to Cinema and making your way to Klimov or Expo for Extract. And the blue run I'm going to be covering is the exact opposite, where you spawn in the Beluga area or the Concordia area and then make your way on down to Collapse Crane or Crash Site to Extract. So let's start off with my favorite of the 2, the red run. Let's say for this instance you spawn in the bottom left most side of the map, this spawn. When you spawn here, you're probably going to have Sewer River, or you'll definitely have Klimov. So worst comes to worst, you have one of those 2. Starting here, you could head down to the car parking lot. Down there, you can find the Concordia security room key. Really nice key. There's a toolbox right outside of that door, and then I'd make my way back out. Making your way out, if you want to be really thorough, there's a few storefronts here that you can hit. Good bit of duffel bags. Heading from the storefront, I always head around the back of this building, because if you head down this street, there's a chance Kaban or Scav or something is going to be on this grenade launcher, and they will absolutely destroy you, so be careful going that way. When going this back way, I'd loot this warehouse here. There's a few weapon boxes, a filing cabinet, a few duffel bags. Now heading out, you have 2 options here. One, you can head into Lexos. I think I called it Concordia earlier on accident. Fight Kaban if he's there, or you can loot these side buildings. Especially if Kaban spawns. If you're confident enough, go for it. But if you want a more safer route, which is what I normally take, you head down the Cinema Street and you can hit this Real Estate Agency Office. Office is kind of underrated in my opinion. It was off my radar for a while anyway. Here you can use the Real Estate Agency Office key. Has a good bit of valuable spawns in there. lot of filing cabinets, a lot of PC blocks, a lot of duffel bags, just some more good shit. Next up, you can loot cinema if you want. I generally avoid it as it's quite a big building, a lot of running around, but there are a few duffel bags and toolboxes littered in there. Normally I skip it though and head either into the city center where I can hit the abandoned factory marked key. Marked key has personally been one of my most successful marked keys. A lot of colored key card spawns, not always, especially after the nerfs. As well as a few big utility toolboxes here. Be careful though, PMCs like to spawn right here and right here, as well as scavs. Heading out here, I get one of three options usually. I either head to the finance office where the small finance and regular finance office keys can be found. I either head straight out under the underpass to relax here. Or I'll head straight down into this kind of side room. A lot of PC blocks, a lot of filing cabinets. So if you're a filing cabinet guy, go for that. No matter which of these threes I choose though, I always make sure to hit relax because relax is just that good. Crazy amount of valuable spawns. I'm not even exaggerating. 80% of the time you'll get either a moonshine or a Bitcoin, as well as a lot of other valuables. So after looting finance or relax here, you also have another option to go into this side building. It has a grocery storefront that's pretty small out the front, but I have found a few moonshine here. So pretty decent spawn, but if you're playing PvE, PMCs like to spawn there as well. So after that, if you have Sewer River, you're probably full by now, so you can extract. If you're not full by now, I have a few more options that I usually hit. This storefront, you probably recognize it from Delicious Sausage. It's one of the storefronts you have to hit. Anyways, there's a lot of obviously food spawns on the shelf. Things to look out for specifically are cans of squash, hot rods, lately max energy. Usually Tarcola, but as of recording this, Tarcola is not worth picking up, so depends on the time of market you're in. However, squash will always sell for a lot. I've never seen squash go for cheap. Moving on from the grocery front, we'll head into another risky spot. This is where you can find the MVD Academy entrance hall key, which is another really good key. A lot of good valuable item spawns, but Kalantai can spawn in here, as well as a few PMCs and scavs. Hit this if you want to risk it. I always risk it. It's a pretty decent spot to fight if you know how to not just run in and get yourself killed. There's a few med cases, med bags, duffel bags, toolboxes, all littered throughout the building. So after hitting that, I'm always usually full, so I'll head straight out of Klimov. And I think for the most part, that covers my red run. So as far as my 3 raid averages were concerned for the red run, my average money earned was 4.25 mil, and the average time it took was 18 minutes and 39 seconds. Pretty solid averages. As far as the danger rating is concerned, I give it 2.5. It can really be bumped down if you don't hit Lexos and the MVD because you're not risking boss spawns. Other than that, you have to fight maybe once or twice. So 2.5 as far as danger. Overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. I love this run. But moving on, we have our blue run. So let's say in the blue run, you spawn back here. Little guy spawning back there. Cute guy, right? I used to hit, there's 2 apartments right in this spawn. Not crazy loot. There's a few loose electronics in the second apartment that might be worth hitting, but I don't hit it anymore. It's not that great. As well as a meeting room over here. What I usually do now is I'll head straight across the street and down to the Terror Group building. Now this is where the Terror Group armory key and the Terror Group meeting room key are. As well as a free safe in the kind of window lounge area. After I loot that safe, I'll typically hit the armory key, loot some stuff out of there. There's a filing cabinet and a few weapon boxes outside of it as well if you don't have the key. And then I'll hit the meeting room key, which has a chance for an intel folder spawn and a filing cabinet that's usually empty for some reason. Now, something I don't normally do, but I should start doing more often is coming out of here, I'll head straight into this kind of lobby area, and then I'll head upstairs to the apartments. Now, there's another free safe up here in the hallway, as well as the 2 apartments that you can go into. It has a few duffel bags, a few toolboxes you can loot. I would be careful though, this general area typically has PMCs and scavs lingering around. So coming from this building, I have 1 or 2. I'll either head underground and come out here and loot this kind of corner as well as the main Skybridge building. A lot of good loot spawns there. It's generally a lot more dangerous because this whole area always has scavs as well as the Skybridge area. Or I'll usually take this kind of corner path. There's a few duffel bags in this building I usually hit. A few filing cabinets, PCs in that little side building if you want to hit it. I would be careful of the AI PMC spawns in this little courtyard. Heading down from here, I'll either head straight to the marked room, which is mysterious room key. Or I'll head straight to the old dev building, which has the relax key spawn. A lot of good loot, a lot of PC spawns, as well as the guaranteed relax key. But whichever one of these I hit first, I always make sure to hit the other straight after. Again, I'd be careful. This area always has a lot of either PMCs or scavs, similar to right across the street. So coming out of here or coming out of the Skybridge, I'll usually hit check 15. I think I did mention actually the iron gate key. You can unlock 3 doors with it, but I usually unlock 2 as there's a few valuable spawns in those. And then I'll head down and hit check 15. These are probably the keys I hit least because usually by this point I'm full on loot or enough to not want to go into here. But coming out, you're full on loot as usual. Go ahead and hit collapsed. If you're not full on loot, you can loot the construction site. Has a lot of toolboxes, a couple weapon boxes. Coming out of construction, I'll head straight underground into the underground part where we started in the red loot run, and hit the Concordia security room underground as well. And then if you have crash site, which you probably do, head out crash site. So our 3 raid average for the blue run as far as time was concerned is 16 minutes on the dot, and our average money earned, however, was 2.34. The blue run is definitely my lesser favorite out of the 2, and you are susceptible to earning less profit on it. So as far as our 5-star danger rating, I'll go ahead and give it a 4. You don't really have to fight any bosses or anything, but there are so many scavs and potential AI PMCs if you're doing this on PvE. Overall, the average money and the danger rating, I can't give it more than a 2. Anyways, that's gonna do it for our Streets of Tarkov in-depth loot guide. I'm not sure yet if I missed anything because I'm doing this off the head again. Let me know what y'all think of the loot run. Let me know if you try it. Let me know how much you earn off of it. Streets has always been my favorite map for loot. Enough yapping. That's gonna do it for us today. And as always, thanks for joining me.